This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your July 15th forecast, which is the new moon in Cancer that everybody's talking about. And I have actually wrote a blurb on my Facebook about. This is a hardcore new moon. So let's talk about it. We're going to find a way to get through this new moon together. Now, new moons mean new beginnings. If it wasn't this afflicted, and thankfully in August, guys, just to let you know, 4 weeks from this new moon, we're going to have another new moon, and it's not going to be afflicted, and it's going to be all about new beginnings. The way that we're going to have new beginnings is through opposition. For many of us, we don't want to make changes in our life because, we get comfortable, especially when you slip into a water energy. Water energies, such as the Cancer energy and the Cancer new moon energy that we're in, you know what? It's all about settling into home and family. It doesn't matter if that family and that home and family environment is dysfunctional. Many of us will stay in our home and family environments, even if they're toxic, even if they're terrible. We'll stay there because they're familiar. Cancer energy, in particular, familiarity is super important to Cancer energy. So many of you had something that came up last week. And, okay, so the week of the 4th, something came up, and then toward the end, something else came up, and it was almost like an emotional unveiling, but it shook the picture that you had moving forward. And so now you're caught in this confusion of what you should do. Familiarity is a very safe place for all of us to want to sit in. But we can be familiar in dysfunction. Many of us, get used to the fact that even if we're in a toxic relationship, a relationship's a relationship, right? And so love for the sake of loving, even if we aren't getting anything back, they're still familiar. Going out into the world and starting over again is the scariest thing that anybody can do, especially if you have a lot of emotions tied into your situation. Then going out there, it's like, how do you feel emotionally connected to somebody ever again after you had this unusual connection? So you're going to be visiting all this. This is a highly karmic week. I should have called this whole month the month of karma, because Saturn is really, really dredging up a lot of stuff from 2012 and 2014. Now, it's tying it in a nice, neat bow, and it's making it secure so that, we can walk on solid footing, right? But it also stirred up some stuff I don't think we knew about, or that I don't think that we understood was going to happen once those issues arose. So many of you are shocked at some of the things that are coming up, and it's taking away some of our personal power, which is why you are finding that your emotions, you feel vulnerable, your core, you're questioning what you want overall. Where do you feel the most authentic? I think you have this deep down inside. How do you passionately move forward when you don't even freaking know what you want? Like, you have no idea. And then, you want to think things out. Like, you want to be highly logical about everything. But then you have Mercury sitting in Cancer, making it impossible to not think emotional based, right? And so you are finding that your personal power is just, you're being pulled on, and you don't feel like you have a lot. So, of course, you want to run home, even if the situation or the relationship is toxic, and get to where it's safe ground. It's like you're like that little crab that wants to run home and slip his shell on, even if it's too small, Even if when he gets in there, he's like, oh, fuck, I can't even get my hands out. Like, I'm just stuck like this. He's like, but it's still my crab shell. I'm still fine. You know, like, it's like that. Even though he probably needs a freaking bigger shell if he's like a little hermit crab. So you're finding today kind of like that. Now, this is progressive energy. This moon, it doesn't matter if it's afflicted or not. It's progressive. But, guys, you're the problem, okay? You're afflicted, right? Your moon and your core, your emotions and what you want and how you think and how you pursue things, it's all confused right now. It's all lost in all this emotion-based energy. You know what? And you know what's stirring the pot? Love, home and family, core, deep core stuff, karmic stuff. Somebody from your past is pulling on your heart. I can guarantee you, many of you are having either past issues, past family unresolved issues, or, past family issues that have made you have poor coping methods. But something, I guarantee you, is pulling you backwards right now. And it's dear to your heart. And it's something that I don't think, come here, Pop. Come here, sweetie. Oh, so my baby. I don't think it's something that you guys can totally be without. There's a beauty in today. There's a couple beautiful energies in today that even though we're having this horribly afflicted moon, let's talk about what new moons are. They are new beginnings. So even though you're caught in affliction and you don't know where you want to go, Neptune, thankfully, is in here to save the day. Now, Neptune is the planet that rules fantasy and illusion. You know what? Sometimes reality, you can just get too lost in reality and it can be overpowering and it can make you want to just freaking, off yourself because it's just so sad and bleak and dark and, there's no way out and you don't know how you can make it through another freaking day in reality. That's the blessing of Neptune. Neptune comes in and saves the day. Now, I always say that the universe is all about balancing energy. And so, yes, we have a heavily ego-oriented, afflicted new moon that is going to make us vulnerable and act out in probably very ego-oriented ways, right? And it's going to make us just, not see the big picture. We have glorious Neptune trining Mars and Mercury. So do you guys want to get lost? Do you guys want to make the most of this new moon? Let's talk about what new moons really are all about. Let's stick to what they're about. Let's not get caught up in the reality. Let's not get caught up in our emotional minds. And let's idealize the picture that we want to create for the next 4 weeks in our home and family. This new moon is in your home and family. What do you see? If you're looking at your picket fence and if you're looking at that perfect family, what do you see? So if that person that you see or that idealistic family that you have in your mind, say you're a person who's in love with another person, but you have a home and family that's working just fine. It doesn't feed you. It doesn't do anything for you. But you know what? You're obligated to it and you just stay. But you know what? You have no passion for it. You have no love for it. It doesn't plug you in anymore. You don't want to be there. You're just putting in the time that it takes. You just walk into the door, you pay all the bills, and you do what you got to do. But you know what? There's somebody that you have loved for so long that you can't live without. But it's going to take work. And say you just got it, you got it easy with this home and family situation that you got going on. You're going to need to make some decisions about that. Or some of you may be moving. Some of you may need to reevaluate where you're at. You know what? Sometimes when you're not in the right place, the universe goes in and creates a hell of a lot of obstacles for you so that you can't be successful where you're at. And so it forces you to make the decision to move. This is also what this new moon could be about. It could be about relocating, moving, upgrading your lifestyle. For many of us, we don't want to make big financial decisions about moving somewhere or moving in with somebody or combining research. We don't want to do any of that. So sometimes we need catalysts to help us push us forward. And then in turn, emotionally, those things are going to feed us in the end. We don't always see it because, we get stuck in energies where we're at. This is just idealize what you want. And don't base it on anything. Don't tell anybody. If it's not, if you're married and you want somebody else, don't do what's in your heart. If that person is in your heart, idealize. What is it really, what could it be like to have a lifestyle with that person? I'm not endorsing that you should, have clandestine affairs and dissolve families. But, if you're in a toxic relationship and you're in love with somebody who doesn't treat you well, and you have the possibility of somebody who's been offering you the world and you're not taking it because you've got to move and you've got to dissolve some of the security that you have in your home and family. You're going to have to get a divorce. You're going to have to work out a parenting plan, like that's a lot of stuff that gets us in our egos. Maybe some of us idealize marriage and idealize unions that weren't perfect, but they're easy. They work for now. And we don't have to go through a lot to get them. And so, but that's not what this new moon is about. It's about planting seeds that you really, really, really want. Don't care if it happens. Don't care if it manifests. Don't care that it is reality. This Neptune energy doesn't care about reality. It doesn't care that it could really happen. But guess who are the largest amount of millionaires and billionaires in the world? It's Pisces. Because they don't care. They have this unyielding energy that makes them believe that they can truly have it. So guys, plant your seeds. The ground isn't exactly fertile. It's kind of volatile. You're going to have to work real hard to make these seeds grow. It's, not as fun as what you've been doing. But there is a possibility that one could sprout. I hope you guys have a lovely new moon. And I look forward to talking to you guys again tomorrow.